Welcome to Earthy Acoustic Guitar Licks with Sean Daniel, where the only thing more earthy than the licks is my outdoorsman spirit after buying one Lululemon hiking vest. Alright, so we're going all organic, earthy acoustic guitar licks you can do over major and minor chords. We're gonna start off sad and make it happy in a storytelling way. This is gonna be anything you can do over an A minor chord, alright? So we got open on the A string, 2 on the D string, 2 on the G string, 1 on the B string, and open E. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a 4-count strumming pattern, and then we're going to follow it up with the 4-count lick that you can kind of substitute every now and then, or just do it for a bunch of different chords, which will show you how you move the shape all over the place, alright? So first I'm going to play a 4-count, like a... right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm kind of just picking the A string by itself, and then maybe the D string by itself, and then getting like a fuller down, down, up for the 3 and the 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna do that. So we're going into the lick, and it's taking the spot of a chord. So maybe if you're playing like a song and you're singing along and there's space there, this is something that you can always do, all right? And it's actually really easy because my ring finger is leading the way from the spot that it's already in, right? My ring finger is just planted on that 2nd fret of the G string, which is an A. So we're starting off basically what is the octave of the root note, like that, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm sliding from 2 to 4, and then my middle finger is kind of jumping from the D string to the B string. See how that works right there? So I'm going from that little slide there, and then I'm going back and forth to it. So 4G, 3B, 4G, 3B, just like that. And then after that, we think of the second half of the lick as 5 on the B string, 3 on the B string, back to 4 on the G string, and then open G. And that open G note leads us back to A, right? Because G just comes right before an A. Okay, so do it super slow to get the timing right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and A. 2, 3, 4, and A. 2, 3, 4, and while you're practicing that, let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Elixir Strings, the finest strings in all of the land. Putting fresh Elixir strings on your guitar is kind of like just getting a nice big handful of sweet and salty trail mix after a long, long 30-minute hike. So definitely get yourself some Elixir strings, because they're the only strings I've really ever used on acoustic guitar for the last decade, essentially. And they last forever, right? So when you're an outdoorsman like me, you don't have time to be like swapping your strings out all the time. So get yourself some strings that are gonna last forever. Literally, I've put these strings on my guitar, come back like a year later, and they're still like sounding pretty good. So do yourself a favor, get some strings that affiliate link in the description. Seriously, you guys don't know how much helps me out every time you order a set of those. So thank you to Elixir for sponsoring the video. Let's get to the next lick. Let's do a major lick that we can maybe start swapping back and forth between some of these, right? A minor pairs great with C major. Just like cracking open a White Claw pairs great with a Great Hike. Or no, wait, no, Michelob Ultra. That's it, Michelob Ultra is the hiker's beverage of choice, as I've seen from the commercials. But here's C major, right? 3 on the A string, 2 on the D string, open G, 1 D. It's gonna be the same strumming pattern and kind of feel, so we can practice these together, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to go into the middle of the neck after that, in what is essentially going to be a very similar tempo and cadence as the other one, right? So we're taking the ring finger now, and I'm sliding into its major third, so from 3 to 7, right? So it's kind of long, but see my pointer finger is just tracking along, following it on that D string. So the interesting thing about this is we're really just getting into the chord because, again, a C major is a C, an E, and a G. So right there, this is straight up an arpeggio because I'm going from the C to the E to the G, but now on the D string, right? Okay, so that's going to be the lick that follows it up. And it's really just playing around inside the C chord. So we're not adding any different notes, really. This one right here, that hammer on, so 3, 7, 5D, 7A, 5D, 7D. So this is an A note. This is the only note outside that chord that we're doing. And then ending twice on that C octave, which is the 5th fret of the G string. Just like that, right? So C, E, G, E, G, A, C, C. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the nice thing about this one, see, I'm like dragging that C back into position where my pointer finger needs to get back where my ring finger is on the root note. So the nice thing about this one is it's really like a circular lick that you can do over and over again and then kind of just stay practicing that same chord, all right? So the great thing about that is because we don't get any higher than that G string. Usually the B string is when you have to compensate because the guitar is tuned a little bit differently when you get to the B string. You can do this for really any chord that is rooted on the E or the A string. In fact, let's go to a G major chord and do the exact same lick, but now I'm starting on G. All right, so here's your G chord, and then you can slide. See, I'm doing that with my middle finger and my pointer finger only because my middle finger is starting off that chord. Now, that's a big stretch, right? That's like hiking the Appalachian Trail. It's a big stretch of land that you cover. That's why you need a good hiking vest with zippers in the chest to pack your gum and other essential hiking supplies, right? So you don't have to do that with your middle finger and your pointer finger. That's why I really like this G major in context, because I just feel like having your ring finger there really opens up like a lot of just different opportunity. So I know that like most people teach learning a G major like this first, but honestly I probably play G major more like this with my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the E string. But again, you can do that same thing over that G major chord, right? So A minor, maybe twice, to C, to G, and that sounds, I think, a lot more interesting than maybe just A minor to C to G over and over again. That's why it's great to learn licks on an acoustic guitar, because you can just do like a lot of cool different things, all right? But let's not stop there, right? A good hike doesn't stop at the top. We got to circle back around. We're not going to Uber from the midway point like a fool would. We're doing the entire thing. E minor is going to be the next chord. Okay? So there's a lot of... I want to keep that same kind of cadence, like I said, of the... Because once you start thinking about the notes that go within a chord and the accompanying notes around them, you can maybe start to just match different notes with a similar cadence. So let's go backwards through maybe just the E minor pentatonic scale and try to apply that cadence to it in a different way. Okay, so again, E minor is really easy. Open, 2, 2, open, open, open. E minor pentatonic would be a scale you can pair with this. Open 3, open 2, open 2, open 2, open 3, open 3. So let's pair the cadence of the... Okay, think of the timing of that. But let's go backwards from the 3, open, 3, open, 3, open. Highest 3 strings. Something like that. Do you kind of hear how that sounds like? Oh, screwed that up. See how that's kind of similar cadence-wise? And again, that's really helpful to take one timing and then add different notes to it. So we're going backwards from the G on the high E string. Alright, so 3, pull off, 3 on the B string, this D note right here. And again, that could be our first thought, like our first part of the lick. And remember, when you pull off, flick it off. That's the beautiful thing about that high E string. You can flick it off instead of weakly pulling off. Okay, so pull off, 3B, open, 3B, just like that. G, E minor, C, A minor, E minor. And again, feel free to just kind of substitute different notes into that cadence. And that's what's great about learning either just kind of like the pentatonic scale that goes with each chord, or just learning the full notes, because we're keeping this all in the key of C major. So that's why it's great to learn just, how to play those notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B all over the fretboard. Check out my Patreon for more ways on how to do that, because I have it all tabbed out over there. But one great way to kind of think about that is playing all those notes in this key in just the first 3 strings, like this. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Fret-wise, you could think of open 1, 3, open 2, 3, open 2, 3, open 2, open 1, 3, open 1, 3. But again, maybe just start learning a few licks just to start with, and then really just expand it from there. Now, I would be a fool not to use my favorite chord in this entire key, which is F major 7. Okay? And there's a really great hammer-on thing that, if you've followed my videos, though, you probably already know how to do this. But so here's this F major 7 chord voicing. Really play this instead of an F major bar chord, because F major 7 is always better anyways. So I've got 3 on the A string, 3 on the D string with my ring finger and my pinky, and then 2 on the G string with my middle finger. Think about this, because this is going to be important in a second. And then 1 on the B string with my pointer finger, right? So we can play the first rhythm part of the chord. And then we're going to make a lick out of keeping this hand in this position, but just using the open strings to kind of help us, using like hammer-ons and pull-offs and stuff like that. So remember, the cadence of it is... okay? What we're doing here. Okay? That could be one of the easiest ways to do it. I'm just doing one hammer-on, followed by picking individual notes within the chord. See how I'm doing that? I'm opening up the G string to get that open G. And this is a really great test to make sure that your pinky and your ring finger are coming straight down, because if you're kind of like laying your pinky across, see, it'll mute it. So get those fingers straight up. And then hammer on G, then B, G, B, G, B, G. Just drill it. F major chord. F. See, you can do the other thing with the open B string. See how I'm doing that? It's really taking the cadence and then using the notes that you know are in this key because you've used open chords. Again, just that E minor is an indicator that all these chords open are in the key. So feel free to use any kind of hammer-on and pull-offs that end up in an open string to your advantage, because it sounds really cool just having like different like licks and riffs and stuff. So do do that, get yourself a hiking vest and become a real outdoorsman. Get yourself some elixir strings, the trail mix of guitar strings. I hope that's a good metaphor. You know, I'm starting to. I feel like I've actually gone away from trail mix recently. I'm gonna have to rekindle that romance soon. But anyways, let me know what your favorite trail mix is in the comments, and then hit me up with any questions you might have in the comment section, Instagram, or the website. And I will talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.